Just high or just shy of the 8,000 pound mark, a Cougar 27 SGS triple slide here at Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan maintains rear wall recliners, which has become a rather hard to find feature in the RV industry. Also, let's just start listing off some big hitter qualities, see if any of these sound good. Full-time RV warranty, one of the smallest RVs out there, smallest fifth wheels with that classification. 0 to 100 degree rated, auto leveling, more ride steps, anti-slam door, in-command remote control system, partridge in a pear tree. This is an action-packed little girl. A pretty common symptom of floor plans like this, like with some sort of island or peninsula and opposing slides, is that you really can't get to much in transit unless you do the Dukes of Hazzard yee-haw and see what the old Duke boys are up to. But if you want to try to keep this thing as small as possible with opposing slides, it's just kind of one of the things that you got to deal with. And that's really the secret to the sauce of the 27 SGS. And people ask, well, what do those letters mean? I believe it means sofa galley slide, which that's kind of an old marine term for kitchen that has worked its way into the RV industry over the years. Sort of phased out, but not completely. Anyway, the idea behind this one is to be as short and light as reasonably possible while still giving us a big, expansive dual living room slide. And it does that very well, actually. When this first came out, it was called the 28 SGS. And it became the most popular fifth wheel in the industry for like 5 straight years. It was just a stone cold killer. Everybody started copying it. And Cougar said, you know what? We were the first. We feel we do it the best. And they revised the kitchen and improved the storage, the countertop, and the prep space. And it became the 27 SGS, and it has spiked back up in popularity. I think they're just very good at what they do down there. Now, there's a lot of RVs that have windows on the campside, which is great. I love it. There's some RVs that have windows on the rear. There's RVs that have windows on the driver's side. This one has windows all over the place. And as you can see, you've got those wooden privacy blinds. They work just like a pleated shade, but they're actually way easier to clean since, they have a hard surface and they don't like bend and buckle when you try to, go over them with a rag and some, like a dust cloth. If you notice too, this RV, it's a good couples camper, but it has some decent guest sleeping capacity with that trifold hide-a-bed sleeper sofa that you see over there. Not to mention the fact that with those 2 pushback recliners, you can always still use one of them back here. Now, that sounds kind of funny to talk about the recliners as like maybe an evening sleeping space, but I've actually done that for the weekend with my family. My wife and I and Mr. Haylett's Montana fifth wheel, we jumped on that hide-a-bed. It fit the 2 of us adults just fine. And I'm a big guy. My feet hung off the bed a little bit, but I'm a guest. I was okay with that, Then our kiddo just jumped on. They had a theater seat, but, pushback recliner, same concept. And my daughter, 8 years old, thought it was great. We all got through the weekend just fine. Now, that wouldn't be a good permanent situation, but it was good for a temporary guest scenario. We've talked about this briefly, but RVs used to just be loaded. Rear recliners like this was the predominant couples camping arrangement for living rooms in the RV industry for a while. And it kind of phased out as rear sofas sort of took over. But I like that there's still this one, it's like an alligator. It was just made so well it never had to evolve. It just works very well. You've got those dual kind of chair side stands. There's household outlets on both sides. There are USB outlets over here, and I wanted to zero in a little bit more closely so you could see what we're looking at more obviously. There are some overhead kind of indirect lights that the middle switch will operate, but then you see the top switch. That is, all of our main cabin lights can be turned on and off all the way back here, which is really cool because if you're sitting in this recliner, like watching a movie at the end of the night or something, you can just click off the lights and, make it a little bit easier on your eyes. The other thing that's neat about that is this RV has the in-command system, like all Cougars. So your light switch for your main cabin lights, it's all the way by the door. And it's not that it's the end of the world. It's a first world problem for sure that, if you're sitting in the recliner and you want to shut off the lights, you have to get up and, quote, walk all the way across the room. And when you say it out loud, it sounds maybe a little silly, but when you're actually camping, you're tired, I get it. I totally get it. I'm not immune to that. I feel the exact same way. But you don't have to get up because there's a switch there. Not to mention the fact that with In Command, you can operate so much of this RV from your phone. You don't have to like get like if you're sitting back here or if you're in bed, it's too hot, too cold. You could be on the toilet and be too hot. You could grab your phone and you could change the AC settings on this RV with your phone. So toilet capable AC function. Not something we often talk about in the RV industry, but Cougar's got it. The lights above the dining area have a dimmer switch so that if you want to kind of have a little bit of a nightlight, very handy if you've got maybe a grandkid or something like that who's not familiar with the space, sleeping on the hide-a-bed for the evening. The freestanding table and chairs here, it helps kind of open this space right up, and it doesn't feel so big and blocky, so that you always have a nice, big, easy angle at that massive 4K ultra high def television right there. And what's also nice is it can swing out for direct viewing. And I think this is one of the reasons the Cougar version of this floor plan continued to succeed, where the copycats kind of phased out. Everyone was always trying to do it, you know, $1 cheaper than Cougar. And sometimes it's not about being $1 cheaper. It's just got to work and be functional. And that giant TV pivoting out for easy viewing, it qualifies as a no neck wrecker entertainment center, even though at a glance it's a little bit off center. A little bit of a pantry-tainment center right here. That TV swings out. You can get to the plugs behind the TV easily, which is nice. But, you know, a little storage behind it. A couple storage pockets below, just above that electric space heating fireplace right there. And as we zero in on the kitchen over here, this is one of the major changes from the 28 to the now 27 SGS. They went with this peninsula counter, which has significantly improved and expanded on the prep space. You're also getting more drawer capacity than you used to in the past to really maximize on, like, when you're standing here in the kitchen, you don't have to go looking for anything. It's all right here. With more drawers on the, like, below that appliance prep shelf coffee bar, bonus drawer under the oven, instead of just the old style drop door knuckle buster, just the little details like that. That's the reason I put these videos together, to help you understand the little variances and nuances from brand to brand. Great overhead cabinet space as well. These are all sealed edge thermofoil countertops. You'll see that trend repeated in the bathroom. And like I mentioned, this is an awesome appliance area. So, you know, if you got a big coffee maker, if you want to get out a griddle or whatever, it's all right here. Like, it's perfect for griddles with that backsplash right there, and that matches the backsplash behind the oven and the stovetop. They've done just an ace job. You've got 4 household plugs and a set of USB plugs there. At a glance, you go, oh, there's even a big cabinet down here. That is actually just an access door to your converter panel. So it just kind of keeps it out of sight, out of mind. And then there's other stuff kind of hidden back in that corner. So you're not wasting storage, you're just utilizing it in a different fashion. As we come up the stairs here, there's also a neat little kind of welcome backlight, which is also a nighttime safety, you know, step safety light. The moment it picks up some movement, which being right next to the door will be the moment you open the door, you'll always be able to see your little kind of landing pad. And things like this, if a manufacturer does not build in a little handrail, a little assist rail right there, it is very hard to do that in an RV. Like, you won't do it on the laminated wall, which, by the way, that's another cool thing on Cougars. These have 2-inch laminated walls versus 1.5-inch walls, like most things in this class. A little more structure, a little more sound dampening, a little more consistency on your thermal regulation. We've kind of touched on the in-command system, but this is where it would be located, your central command center, if you will. Let's see, these are usually 4 zeros, and anything you can do off this pad, you could do right off your phone. There's also the physical switch brain and wiring center in the pass-through belly area that, you know, you could utilize. And people sometimes ask, what's that? That is your thermal probe. That's your hot-cold temperature sensor, basically. Now, up here in the bathroom, I love that they went with that clear door because it makes this room look and feel so much larger. It doesn't hurt when you kick the lights on either. Good linen space in here. Like, this bathroom arrangement, really kind of first popularized by Montana, has since just become the predominant fifth wheel bathroom, and for good reason. You got that porcelain stool with plenty of legroom. You got room to get in and out of the shower. You can get dressed in the bathroom without having to, you know, leave it. Corner seating area right there across from the shower. I mean, just, it does everything it needs to. It's a very efficient bathroom arrangement, and it just, it hits all the notes. It doesn't miss anything. Now, with In Command, we talked about how you could turn the lights on here. you could turn the lights on or off in the living area back there. But the in-command panel, like if I just walk up here and I just hit interior lights, it will shut off all the lights. Well, if you're in the bedroom and you want to turn the lights on and off, you don't necessarily want to turn off all of the lights or turn on all the lights. You just want to turn on the lights in this room. So there's a separate light switch here in the bedroom, operates completely independently from what's back there in the living room. And that's what's nice about In Command. You can do it with the touchscreen fancy job stuff, but for your more like everyday like little things, there's still the little handy switch for stuff like that. We obviously have a easy lift bed, and they have very similar to like the Jayco Eagle HT. They have really diminished that little step around the bed that used to be there. It's just pretty much not an issue anymore, and it creates a nice little storage pocket down here. A 60 by 80 true queen bed greets us up front here, and what that does is it sets the stage and leaves the room and frames it up for those dual storage cabinets, as well as full-size side stands versus like some brands are trying to do a king bed, but you have to you basically have to give up a whole side stand to do it. Cougar didn't want to do that. They wanted to leave both side stands in place. You've got household and USB plugs on both sides. I'm at a bad angle for it, but you can see you've got yourself a big viewing window over here. And what's cool is that is directly juxtaposed to this closet and dresser slide, and the way that they mirrored those doors helps reflect a lot of that light inside the RV and really makes this thing look and feel even larger. But instead of being wastefully large, you can see how they created three basically dresser drawers, 3 extension drawers down here. So you still have hanging closet space, but you're getting tons of room for like folded clothes, socks, etc., things like that. Now those dual kind of closet looking things above the bed on either side, they are not closets. All your closet hanging storage will be in that slide. But they are a nice big cabinet, and you can always find something to put in one of those spaces. You also have dual storage pockets on either side of the bed. And as we meld through the floor, like one of the mutants from the X-Men, we see a huge basement compartment. This is one of the biggest available in this class of fifth wheel, and it's completely open and unobstructed. You can also see over there, that's your auto leveling controls, and the other big box that we're looking at is the prep area for a solar charge controller, since this RV has roof solar prep. Just like we had motion lights inside, you have motion lighting above that in-command panel right there. That is also the home to your central wiring hub, and Keystone color codes every single wire. Also neat on in-command, there is still a physical selector switch inside if you want to run your jack, slides, awnings, your big mechanical motorized objects without getting out your phone, without going in and out of the RV. You can still do them right here from ground level, which is really cool. 12-volt heated holding tank, standard on anything that says Cougar. And obviously we have some outside TV hookups here inside that compartment, which obviously has double slam latches and magnet catches. Pardon me, I'm a little froggy this morning. I've been doing a lot of videos, and my throat's starting to get a little scratchy. They have a very good ride and handling package on this. There's quite a few fifth wheels in this budget range that will have an upgraded suspension, whether it's more ride or road armor or Equiflex or whatever. Cougar uses the road armor system, and I like that because it has shock dampening on top and bottom of the axle shackles. But the other thing that they're doing here is matching it up with a road armor pin box, so that it's taking a lot of the bumps and jumps and herky-jerkiness out of the towing scenario. Man, that white skin on this is looking good this morning. And once again, Cougar being the trendsetter, you know, Cougar went to that kind of, white, black, tan generation. Everybody followed suit. They switched over to a polar white skin. Everybody's following suit. They are one of the leaders and trendsetters in the fifth wheel industry. Have been for over, 12 years, and will continue to be that way. Fully enclosed docking center is another thing that not everybody in this class is doing. More brands are starting to adopt it, which is good. That's a good thing, but it's still not across the board. So it's enclosed, heated, protected. You can, all of our gate valves and everything are in here. You have a side solar prep, but remember we have roof solar prep as well, so you can actually dual solar this thing. Your outside shower comes with this handy little hose that you could put a residential sprayer handle onto, and more motion lighting in here, so it's on when you need it, off when you don't. And as I mentioned before, These are hot, cold, camp rated, just like big Cougar Montana fifth wheels. Even the small Cougars have the exact same package. You've got an enclosed belly, radiant barrier, 12-volt heated holding tanks, and forced air heating to get you through those cold snaps, and it works well. Teleporting over to the other side of those axles, you can see the rear jacks on that push-button auto, not stabilizing, pardon me, leveling system. Cougar has gone back to standard auto leveling. Doesn't cost you extra, which is great. And when they do that, when they standardize things, they control the cost. So you're not getting dinged for it. That's an expensive feature that you're just really not paying a lot for because they standardized it. Big chassis beam to chassis beam sewer hose holder is also handy. And you see back here that they have a rear accessory hitch, so that if you want to do things like add a cargo tray for a generator, if you want to add a bike rack, you can do those things without burning your factory warranty. Which, you know, there's a lot of brands that have that 3-year structural coverage. Keystone's one of those, but theirs is the most comprehensive and inclusive out there that I've seen, and I've read through these things in pretty fine detail. There's little differences there, because like Keystone owns their own paint shop. The paint on the nose cap is covered under their structural warranty, and that's not typically the case for most brands. Beautiful day here in southern Michigan. Makes it easy to get up here on the roof, you know, not windy, not rainy, not snowy. This is the first pleasant weather day we've had this week. It has been like tsunami season in southern Michigan. Never mind all that though. Up here on the roof, one thing I want to point out, I've mentioned it, but so you can see it for yourself, you do have the roof solar prep plug right there, but you've got plenty of room on either side of this lane, basically, either side of the roof, to just load it up with panels if you are so inclined. So that lighter skin package, the radiant barrier package, the standard bigger air conditioner, the AC, or pardon me, the roof attic vents that we're looking at here, this is not just cold camp rated, which is what a lot of people focus on. But frankly, I am willing to bet more people spend way more time hot climate camping than cold climate camping. So why don't we talk about that more? I think people take it for granted. Well, the thing here is that Cougars are going to be absolutely fantastic at pretty much any climate camping. Now, if it's going to be negative 32 degrees, you know, there's no RV made for that kind of weather. But for pretty much any reasonable camping scenario, even some pretty extreme cold weather, you're going to be good. So give us a call over here at Haylett RV. The only thing we don't do is hidden dealer fees. Apologies for the convenience, but short of that, we do hitching, pieces, parts, trades, finance, truck and trailer package deals, RV delivery, and everything between. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone. But instead of being wastefully large, you can see that they, you know,